Welcome to another episode of Everything Sports with Aman and Evan. I'm your host, Evan Garber, and today we do have more MLB predictions as we are just a week and 2 days, so 9 days until opening day, 9 days away from opening day. And we do have Dodgers and Padres playing tomorrow in the Seoul series, so I guess technically the opening day is tomorrow, but opening day for every other team is in 9 days. And today, we do got the National League East predictions. And I know that there's been a lot of news over there in the National League West, but I will get to that once we do get to the NL West. If you want some quick thoughts, you can go look at our shorts on YouTube or TikTok and look at those. But as of right now, I'll get more into that once we do get to the National League West. But we'll start off in last place in the National League East, which we do have the Washington Nationals, the key additions being Joey Gallo and Nick Senzel, key subtractions being Jeter Downs and Dominic Smith. Now, this team simply is just not that great. It has some young talent over there on their team, but I'm not going to say that any of them have really shown much so far in their major league careers. They've definitely struggled a lot, and really the only thing I can really expect from them is for Joey Gallo to mash baseballs, because that's what he does. I think he'll have a good season over there. He's not going to have a lot of pressure on him. It's like a 1-year deal, I believe it is. So it's mainly just a deal for him to go out there, play some baseball, have some fun. And we could see not necessarily a breakout season, but we could see a much better season from Joey Gallo this year. And then, of course, we will see probably two of their top prospects, or their two top prospects. Number 7 overall prospect, Dylan Cruz. Number 14 overall prospect, James Wood. Probably we'll see them at some point this season, but I just don't think there'll be enough of a difference to make this team not last place in this division. Of course, Dylan Cruz and James Wood are both studs, but not going to be enough to push them out of last place. And then in fourth place, I have probably surprised to most of y'all. It is going to be the New York Mets. I'm pretty much keeping things just as they were last year. The key additions being Sean Manaea, Shintaro Fujinami, Harrison Bader, Joey Wendell, and Luis Severino. Key subtractions being Daniel Vogelbach, Luis Guillerme, and Carlos Carrasco. Now, I just don't know how you expect me to believe in this team after they were fourth place last year, and I just don't think they made any significant moves this year. I don't know how all of a sudden I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, now I believe this team. Now I believe this team can be a playoff team. Now I believe this team can be third place, second place in the division, or whatever it may be. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The Marlins did get arguably worse, but am I really supposed to believe in this Mets team that didn't go out and spend really anything this offseason? And the only thing they got better really is that Edwin Diaz is back. I don't really know what you want me to believe here. I don't know how you want me to believe this team is gonna be much better than it just was last season. Like I mentioned, Edwin Diaz is gonna be a stud. He's gonna be electric. Finally, get to see him back. It's great to see him back, but now the rotation is not very good. Kodai Senga is out for the beginning of the season, and then you have Quintana, Severino, Manaea, Hauser, and Miguel, which all of them struggled last season. So I don't know how you want me to believe in this team, especially in the pitching staff. Lineup is fine. Pete Alonso is probably going to have a great season in his contract year. Francisco Lindor is obviously good, and Brandon Nimmo is good. He has young guys like Francisco Alvarez who are probably going to be some good this year, but I don't know. Steve Cohen didn't spend anything really last year. His deep pockets didn't work last year, but you spent a lot of money on two old men who get hurt all the time. I don't really know what you wanted to happen. You kind of expected it to happen when you signed two 35-plus-year-old men or 40-year-old men almost. You expect them to be your two top guys in your rotation. I don't really know what you're trying to expect from them, but I don't know. I don't think they did much this offseason to push the needle much, if at all. So I had this team in fourth place, which of course, pretty obviously does leave Miami Marlins in third place. Key additions being Tim Anderson, Christian Bethancourt, and Vidal Brujan. And key subtractions being Jorge Soler, Jacob Stallings, Joey Wendell, and Garrett Hampson. Now, this team is not as bad as some may say. Yes, they did lose some good pieces, especially Jorge Soler, this offseason, but I can definitely see why this team's able to make a wild card spot, and I I'm not gonna say they are gonna make a wild card this year again, especially with how tough, how much better the National League got, especially specifically the National League West. But I don't know. It's hard to see this team not being third place just because the Mets. I don't really like what they did this last season. Um, Pitching staff of the Marlins is pretty strong still. Of course, Sandy went healthy, and Jesus Luzardo, Yuri Perez, AJ Puck, and Trevor Rogers are all pretty good. And then they're 8-9. Andrew Nardi and Tanner Scott. It's pretty good, but it's a pretty good punch, and I don't. It's a pretty underrated two guys right there. I expect a lot out of them this season. In fact, they're gonna. I wouldn't say be an necessarily household name this season, but they're definitely gonna put themselves out there, and hopefully people will know their names because those two guys are very, very good out of the pen for the Marlins. And the lineup is still pretty solid. I mean, of course, they contact King Luis Ariz, batting champion last year. Just all he does is hit for contact. Doesn't have much power, but he's gonna get on base, which of course is great for your leadoff hitter. And then they have a lot of guys that are above average or good at power. They're some good power bats all around, and yeah, maybe they're not necessarily gonna be an electric lineup. They're not gonna necessarily be the Braves or the Phillies or the Dodgers or anything like that. But this team is a team that can get it done, and they showed it last year. And I believe they can do it again this year. They can get things done. May not necessarily make a wild card team, but they'll definitely be in the race for a while. The only thing that really scares me about this team is that this team does strike out a ton and does not walk much. Like I said, like this team is definitely interesting, getting for some power, but not necessarily going to get on base a ton. Which I think will, with the pitching staff that they have, I think they'll be able to at least vie for a wild card spot. I don't think they will make it, but it's going to be at least a close race. Then we got second place, the Philadelphia Phillies. Key additions being Whit Merrifield, Spencer Turnbull. Key subtractions, of course, being Reese Hopkins and Craig Kimbrell. Now, this really should not come as a surprise to anyone. It's pretty clear who the 1 and 2 are in this division. We know the Phillies team is very, very good, but rotation is obviously good. Wheeler and Nola at the head of it. Bullpen is pretty strong. Jose Alvarado, Anthony Dominguez, Jeff Hoffman, Gregory Soto, and Matt Strom. Jeff Hoffman is a guy who I honestly didn't know at all, really, but he's a stud out there. Like, look at his Savant page; is very, very good. And then, of course, the lineup. Yes, it's not as strong without Hoskins, but it's still Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Real Muto, Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos, Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas. That lineup is still pretty good, but clearly there's not as good as the Braves. I'm pretty sure that's pretty obvious to everyone. The Braves are one of the best teams in all baseball, which is why I have the Philadelphia Phillies in second place. And then we get to the Braves, of course, in first place. Key additions being Ronaldo Lopez, Chris Sale, Jared Kelenic, and Aaron Bummer. Key subtractions being Kevin Pillar, Brad Hand, Kirby Yates, and Michael Soroka. Now, this team is absolutely disgusting, like I said. You have Strider and Fried at the 1-2 punch, which is arguably the best 1-2 punch in all baseball now. Now you have Snell and Webb over in the Giants. You can argue that's not, but Strider and Fried is still one of the best 1-2 punches in all of baseball. And then you have Chris Sale, who honestly had a pretty good season last year, a pretty underrated season. If you look at his Savant page, it definitely has some very, very good signs. And now you put him on the Braves, which is a pitching machine, and Chris Sale could have a very, very, very good year this year. Strider, Fried, Chris Sale is going to be a nasty 1-2-3 this season. And the bullpen, we know, is very good. And what really makes this team so much fun is that rotation bullpen is going to strike out a ton of batters. That's what makes this pitching staff so great. They're going to strike you out so much. And yes, the bullpen doesn't have a necessarily dominant hard-throwing guy from the ninth inning, but all around it's a really, really solid pen. And then, of course, you have the lineup, which is just absolutely disgusting. Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Marcelo Ozuna, Michael Harris, Sean Murphy, Jared Kelenic, and Orlando Arcia. That 9-man lineup is absolutely disgusting. The only guy that doesn't have a whole lot of red on his baseball savant page is Orlando Arcia, but every other guy out there, they have so much red on the baseball savant page. Of course, Acuna being the best player in all of baseball right now, arguably. MVP last season. But man, oh man, this team is absolutely disgusting. Um, I mean, we all know this team is very, very good. But I mean, this team is so much fun. You have so much power in this lineup, so much guys getting on base in this lineup. You have really, really good pitchers on this team. You strike out a ton of batters. I mean, yes, the one issue probably is their defense, but it doesn't really matter when you have your rotation and bullpen striking out guys left and right. I mean, I don't think it's gonna matter a whole lot, especially with the lineup. It's absolutely disgusting. But let me know guys think. Let me know guys think down below. Comment below you guys' takes on the National League East, and we will see you on Thursday for National League Central, and then National League West on next Tuesday, and then of course opening day will be playoff predictions and awards as well.